Everywhere I go, everywhere I travel, all the events, even through my exposure on social media, I'm constantly meeting great people that want to get better and improve their overall leadership in business and in life. I'm constantly getting asked about books and podcasts and resources on all different types of subjects. Today, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 leadership books that are must-reads for aspiring and seasoned leaders. In my opinion, these aren't just one-time read books. These are studies. These are resources that you should go back to and read several times. Many of my teachings come from principles from these 5 books. Now, I probably could recommend at least 20 right now, but these are my 5 favorites. So I hope you enjoy. At the end of this video, I would love to hear some feedback from you guys on what are your favorite leadership books. So make sure you comment below in the comment section so that I can add them to my library so that you can help me grow my audience and my mindset. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and share this with your team. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for helping me grow this channel over the last 6 months. What we've been able to do together has been so inspiring. All right, here's my top 5 books on leadership. Firstly, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Here's why I love this book. I love this book because it provides tactical advice on leadership and taking responsibility for our lives. It's based on the experiences of the author, who's a former Navy SEAL, and he's a badass. There's so many things that we can learn from those that have served in our military around mindset, leadership, perseverance, and other things. This book is packed with leadership nuggets. In this book, Jocko Willink really emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for your actions and the outcomes of your decision. By adopting a mindset of extreme ownership, you can take control of your life and work towards achieving those goals. You know, I find in our society today, lots of us are challenged with this simple concept. Everybody is looking out the window, trying to point the finger, blaming somebody else for their problems, or blaming our parents, the government, our business partners for all of our problems, when in fact, we need to take personal responsibility to move forward. I love how this book draws from the experience of the author and ties in the military to provide practical advice on leadership. He provides examples of effective leadership in challenging situations and offers strategies for building strong teams and achieving success. But probably my favorite part about this book is how it talks about improved communication skills. This book has taught me tips and techniques for effective communication, both within my team and outside of my team in my home. It also emphasizes the importance of clarity and simplicity in communicating and providing strategies for achieving that. Can you imagine going to war and not having clear and simple communication? This book is unbelievable for that. As the saying goes, the clearer that you can communicate, the more effective your communication will be. And this book provides resources on how to do that. My second book recommendation is Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell. I know I've talked about this book before in a different video. In fact, it's the only book I reference from past videos because it's an absolute game changer and some of you still have not read it. It's learning how to become a better leader. It's also the first book I ever read on leadership, so it's always held a special place in my heart. Similar to Extreme Ownership, Maxwell talks about how to improve your communication skills. You're going to see some patterns here. But my favorite part of this book is how he outlines the key qualities of a good leader. He talks about things like integrity, and vision, and discipline, and the ability to influence others. By understanding these qualities, I was able to start developing them in myself and eventually start developing them in others. He also gives you insight and explores different leadership styles such as visionary, team building, and strategic leadership. By understanding this, I could start to identify my own style and how to adapt my leadership approach in all different situations. One common theme you'll notice in all great leadership books, and this book is no different, is there's a lot of real life examples. Throughout this book, Maxwell shares stories about successful leaders from various different fields, including business and politics and sports. But by studying these examples, we can learn from their successes and their failures and apply these lessons to our own leadership journey. The last thing I'll say about this book is it really helped me start to build strong relationships in my business. Listen, one of the key aspects of leadership is building strong relationships with other people on your team. This book really gave me advice on how to build trust and communicate effectively and create a support team within that environment in my business. At the end of the day, mindset is transferred through communication. And if you want to grow your team, if you want to grow your business, your mindset, your organization, you have to become a more effective communicator. And this book is going to give you tools on how to do that. My third book on leadership, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This is one of the most popular books of all time in this space. This book has helped millions of people worldwide achieve success in personal and professional lives. One of the things that really spoke to me is how this book taught me to develop a strong foundation of personal values. This book focuses on developing a strong foundation, such as things like honesty and integrity and respect, and it really provides a basis for effective decision-making and behaviors. All great leaders must learn how to build a strong foundation. So when I read this book, I really started to identify holes in my foundation and immediately started to patch them. That's why you need to read this book. But again, this book talks about improved communication skills. Covey emphasizes the importance of effective communication, including listening and understanding the perspectives of other people. Like I said, you will see a theme here in the communication from one book to another, but the perspective that I gained from this book on what other people are going through, I think really started to shift my mindset. There's a lot of great chapters in this book. There's a lot of great points, but probably one of the things that helped change the game the most for me was learning how to manage my time effectively. This book gave me the advice on time management, including how to prioritize tasks, avoid distractions, and use my time effectively. In fact, I've done YouTube videos in the past on things that I've learned from this book. You know, it's interesting because this book was written so long ago, but time management chapter is more relevant today than ever before. We have so many distractions. There's so many things pulling on us, whether it's family, social media, the news. Everybody's fighting for real estate in our brains. So understanding effective time management in today's age is an absolute game changer. You should read this book just for that reason alone. My fourth book recommendation is Good to Great by Jim Collins. I love this book because it gives you a different insight into leadership. You know, he talks about what makes companies successful. Collins and his research team basically analyzed the performance of companies for over 30 years. So things like identify key factors, you know, that separates great companies from good ones. By reading this book, you can gain insight into what makes a company successful so you can apply those insights into your own business. One of the things that I learned from this book is the importance of culture. That's why I have such a great culture. This book identifies the importance of creating a great culture, a culture of discipline, culture where teammates can feel empowered, right, to make decisions and take responsibility for their work. It also highlights the importance of culture of accountability, right, where teammates are held responsible for their actions. It's literally how I started to develop my core values in my business. If you show me the culture of an organization, I'll tell you if that's a company on the rise or on the fall. Your culture tells me everything that I need to know about where you're headed. It tells me the season that you're going into and where you're coming from. The last golden nugget that this book gave me was the concept of developing a long-term perspective. At times, you guys, as humans, we're so short-sighted. We think so short-term. This can crush our business. This book emphasizes the importance of thinking long-term and having long-term perspectives in business. You know, in the book, the author argues that great companies are able to sustain their success over time by staying focused on their core values and by avoiding short-term thinking. It's changed everything for me. I remember when I read this book as a young man, I was just getting into business, right? And I had some tendencies to take shortcuts, or, you know, we all wanted to make money quicker. We all wanted to, you know, get there faster. But I'll tell you what, when you start to make decisions that are based on long-term thinking and core values that are tied to your long-term vision, they really start to change the way you think. And after reading this book, I valued far over fast. Fast is good, but I'd rather go far than fast in business. And my last book recommendation is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I had to mention this book because it's an absolute game changer and packed with so many unbelievable points. This book has taught me principles of leadership and presented me with 21 laws and principles that are based on Maxwell's extensive experience as a leader and a researcher. These laws cover topics such as influence, vision, trust, again, communication. This book helped me understand the importance of character and leadership. It reminded me that to be an effective leader, you need to have strong values and strong ethics, and you always have to lead with integrity. I could probably do a video for each one of these 21 points that he covers in this book. It's that good. But overall, after reading this book, it helped me with my confidence as a leader because it gave me an understanding of what it takes to be an effective leader. It helped me believe that I could take on a leadership role and I could take on responsibilities in my business and that I could be successful. So if any of those things resonates with you, you also have to read that book. All right, you guys, I hope you wrote down those 5 books right? And hey, make sure you comment below. Let me know what books have helped you in your business and in your life. I'm always interested to learn. I'm always interested to grow. I want to know which ones have helped you grow in your life. And I'm always open to hearing feedback from you guys. So I appreciate you being here today. Thank you for joining us. Again, if you have any suggestions for me, I'd love to hear it. I like to make my content specifically for you and your team. So let me know what I can do to serve you. Thanks for joining today, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.